So what's the real reason we have RFK Jr. as the head of Health and Human Services?
There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective.
RFK Jr. is to science what Melania is to warmth. And his attacks on vaccines, which he denied during his confirmation hearings, reveal that he is not only what we thought, a sick, brainworm-addled, malignant sociopath like his boss, but he's also ready to let you die. And now he's not only being attacked by Bernie Sanders, but Trump is having second thoughts as well. Here's Bernie.
You know, what I find a little bit weird in this discussion, I'm hearing it over and over again this morning, Mr. Chairman, is we've got the entire medical community on one side. You got the AMA representing hundreds of thousands of doctors, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Association. All of these organizations are telling us that COVID vaccine and vaccines in general are safe and effective. You are casting doubt on that. Who are the organizations that are agreeing with you and casting aspersions on vaccines?
The primary advisors are Marty McCary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
name. Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors?
But the real story here isn't Bernie Sanders. RFK Jr. is the man who abandoned his wife, then wrote of the 36 affairs he had during their 6-year marriage, which she wrote caused her to commit suicide, and is also the guy who said he had a worm eat part of his brain. RFK Jr. is the same guy who fired the head of the CDC, who stood up to his lies that vaccines were the cause of autism, and is now the guy saying Tylenol causes autism. He's fucking insane.
They had what?
How insane? Even Trump is now saying vaccines work.
But last night, Trump seemed to break with his health secretary's anti-vaccine rhetoric.
Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all. And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it and they endanger other people. And when you don't have controversy at all, I think people should take it.
But I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccines.
So I know you're thinking, what the fuck, Trump? You appointed him as head of Health and Human Services, and now he's working against Health and Human Services, and you're doing nothing? But as insane as Trump is, he's not on Junior's level. Trump may be ignorant, but he got vaccinated, although it was almost too late. So why is Trump supporting RFK when he obviously disagrees with him?
I could be a stupid person.
Because Trump has already played politics with the pandemic, and he saw hundreds of thousands of people die unnecessarily.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
So the latest insanity is coming out on Monday, September 8th, where RFK will claim that autism is caused by the active ingredient in Tylenol. But there is no proof. See, what RFK is saying is that some children who had autism had mothers who used Tylenol during pregnancy. But that's like saying seatbelts save lives, and if a person had a heart attack in a car and they weren't wearing their seatbelt, the lack of a seatbelt was the cause. This is Dr. Scott Gottlieb, former FDA commissioner, calling bullshit on all of it and backing it up with real epidemiological studies.
Do you believe, based on what you have seen, because there have been other studies on this, that this could be the cause of the uptick in autism cases we've seen in recent history?
Yeah, well, I certainly don't.
And vaccines not only save lives, they save money. I mean, Congress saw the tremendous costs and results of a mishandled pandemic and how they can bankrupt a nation, which COVID almost did. And they're pissed.
I want to go back to just, again, some basic facts. Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID?
I don't know how many died.
The Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant?
You also told Senator Wyden at the outset that you didn't want to take vaccines away from people. I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
So let me ask you, when were you lying, sir? When you told this committee that you were not anti-vax, or when you told Americans that there's no safe and effective vaccine?
Both things are true.
I support vaccines. I'm a doctor. Vaccines work. Secretary Kennedy, in your confirmation hearings, you promised to uphold the highest standards for vaccines. Since then, I've grown deeply concerned. The public has seen measles outbreaks, leadership in the National Institute of Health questioning the use of mRNA vaccines, the recently confirmed director of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention fired. Americans don't know who to rely on.
And people are upset because we've been having this discussion for hundreds of years. And to declare that the AMA is being run by Big Pharma has nothing to do with the efficacy of a vaccine. They work. And catch this, there's not one documented case of a healthy person getting a vaccine and dying. And those that did die simply were too sick when they were given the vaccine. And if you're pissed about the profits these companies make, okay, that's a fair discussion. Although studies have shown that the research and development of the mRNA vaccine cost tens of millions of dollars over 2 decades, but it also saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. That is undisputed. And then there's Florida. Florida now says they won't enforce vaccine mandates.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body? You want to put, whatever different vaccines in your body? God bless you. I hope you make an informed decision.
So now we find ourselves still with a guy who is not new to science denial.
There is zero evidence that the flu shot prevents any hospitalizations or any deaths. Number 3, the flu shot transmits the flu. In fact, if you get a flu shot, you're 6 times more likely to give somebody else the flu. And if you didn't get the flu shot, since we started mandating the flu shot to elderly people, those are the people who their life expectancy has dramatically gone down as the flu shot proliferated.
Every single word he said is contested by leading hospitals, universities, and over 100 years of detailed epidemiological studies. But what's unsaid here is if we stop these vaccines, children and the elderly will die in unprecedented numbers. To that point, it would be like living in the 1700s again.
There have been, as I understand it, dozens of studies done all over the world that make it very clear that vaccines do not cause autism. Now, you just said, if I heard correctly, well, if the evidence is there. The evidence is there. That's it. Vaccines do not cause autism. Do you agree with that?
As I said, I'm not going to go into HHS with any preordained.
I asked you a simple question, Bobby. The studies all over the world say it does not. What do you think?
Senator, if you show me those studies, I will absolutely, as I promised to Chairman Cassidy, I will apologize.
That is a very troubling response because the studies are there.
Now we find ourselves in a weird place. Trump knows that RFK is wrong, and yet he allows it to move forward. Why? Because his base, the MAGA base, well, do I have to say it?
I love the poorly educated.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
RFK Jr. plays right into the professional wrestling is real mindset of Trump voters. So here's a dilemma. We live in a rapidly changing world where climate change is not only releasing permafrost carbon into the atmosphere and pushing communicable diseases into highly populated regions, but we're being run by morons.
They had what?
I mean, does Trump care more about the lives of all Americans in this rapidly changing world or the votes of his ignorant, fearful hillbilly militia who knows more about NASCAR than biology? That, my friends, is a rhetorical question.
They had what?
Because Trump only cares about you if you're stupid enough to die for him. And that's why we have RFK Jr.
Goddamn right.
It's sitting on my desk.
It's not fair.
Who are you talking to?
I could be a stupid person.
Trump admitted he knew Epstein for 15 years.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
He is f***ing Satan.
Are you not entertained?
Do you have no shame?
I'm sorry, man.
It's not fair.
Jeffrey Epstein?
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
TikTok.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.